Behind me is a V8 Vantage from 2007, and this is a really interesting car because this is one of the few cars that you can actually get really exotic performance, looks, and everything else that comes with it for a price that normal people can actually attain and actually have a V8 car with all the bells and whistles from this year. So showing us this car is my friend Mark right here. This is Mark. Dude,
what's
thanks
up, man?
so much for coming through, dude.
My pleasure.
I am super excited. Plus, this car was just cleaned. As you can tell, it is gorgeous. It looks amazing. And so I really wanted to get into some of the things. So starting right off, right from the beginning, as soon as you pulled up, the first things I noticed were the brake rotors. Are those actually factory on this car?
Yep, those are factory rotors.
Oh, nice, because I noticed they were slotted like that. So that's cool that it comes like that from the factory.
It's a mostly stock car.
Yeah? What have you done to the actual car?
Not too much. I just did the tints just to take down some of the sunlight. You know, this Florida sun can kill the dash in these things.
Yeah.
They're kind of known for that, like the leather peeling back. So,
okay.
So I wanted to protect that. And then...
But this one has stayed in pretty good condition. I mean, as far as I see it, there's not a scratch or nothing even fading on this car.
You know, with a lot of these cars, like people buy them and don't really drive them. So you can find low mile versions. This was a very low mile. It had 11,500 when I got it.
Okay.
So, and I put like a little over 1,000 on it now.
Okay.
I've only had it a couple of months, so.
Oh, fun. And like, what does a car like this usually go for? I know that this is something that like a lot of people can actually get into a more exotic car by getting one of these Vantages.
Yeah, you said it. I mean, like every time I drive this car, I just think of what a bargain it is. Because it's like such an excellent car and for the money. You know, this was less than 50. So the price of like any new car today is at least 50.
Yeah,
and,
no, seriously.
And for me, like...
And you get a V8 and it's a manual.
Naturally aspirated, V8, 6-speed manual.
That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good car to me. So what are some of the hidden features that someone might not know and might not even find online? Because like in this series, one of the main things that we want to do is actually go over all the things that make cars special that you wouldn't typically see on a spec sheet. So off the top of your head, what are some of those things that you think make this car special that you wouldn't typically find online?
Well, I think one, it's a hand-built car.
Oh, really?
Yep, the hand-built in England. You know, the design is like, for me, the highest point of the car. The design is just perfect. The proportions are perfect.
Yeah.
And
in fact, can I open the door? I want to show.
That's one of the unique features is the swan doors.
Swan doors is what they call it. That's
as
cool.
They open up.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about
It's like an in-between of a vertical door and like a regular door. It kind of like gently comes up. It's
it's
cool.
nice. And you don't have to worry about hitting the curb with it. That's like one of the reasons for the design, so I hear.
Yeah.
One of the problems is the gas strut inside of these doors. They fail very frequently.
Oh, really? Okay.
So it's like, I replaced all the struts on this car for all the hatches because they were all like failing, and that's just very typical of these cars.
Yeah, and one thing that I actually noticed just now that I opened the door is actually this, back in 2007, this is not a very common type of door handle, which I think adds a little bit to it because it's like much more streamlined than your typical door handle that you'd see on a regular car from that year.
It's a pretty unique handle. Like when I first saw it, I thought it would actually stay out, which it doesn't. So you kind of have
like
to,
similar to the Tesla one.
You kind of have to two-hand it,
Yeah, and this is very interesting. It's like they actually had to drill a separate hole from the body panel for the actual key part. There's a lot of really interesting design choices and really good looking design choices, honestly. As soon as you pulled up, one of the main things that I noticed besides the brake rotors was actually the brake calipers and how it actually matched your interior. The red on red.
Yeah, it was ordered that way. I was like, I've never been a huge fan of the red, so I was a little like wary when I went to go look at the car, especially like how it read in the photos was like very bright red.
Oh yeah.
So I wasn't sure I was gonna like it, and then I went and saw the car and noticed that the interior, like the seats are more like a wine red. It's a little darker, and it's really grown on me.
One thing I will say, something about this car is they really pay attention to the details. Whenever you're getting a more exotic car like this, it all comes down to the details. And so even just looking at this, just on this cap right here, where you feel the air on the tire, there's an Aston Martin logo. I bet you those sell for more than a typical cap.
Yeah.
That covers that.
Exactly. It's all about attention to detail. And that's kind of what keeps blowing me away with the car is just like all the little subtle things.
Yeah.
And obviously the design is not real exotic. You could call it an exotic car.
It's definitely more exotic than any typical car, you know, especially at the price range.
Yeah, but it flies under the radar, you know, like lots of people don't even know what it is. I get asked a lot, like,
oh, really?
Yeah, what is that,
Oh,
you
wow.
know? So,
That's cool.
which kind of surprised me, you know, but, you know, being a car guy and they've been on my radar for a while,
Yeah.
you know, I noticed them, but lots of people don't even know. They're like, what is this?
I actually heard that they have a badge for whoever built the engine on this car. Can I see that?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's crazy. Like on Mustangs, we don't really get that. A lot of times in the special editions, we'll get something like that, maybe on like Shelby's and stuff like that. But on regular GTs, you don't get that. So I think that's actually something that's really interesting.
This is actually one of my favorite parts of the car because
I don't want to mess it up.
if you see the name, Dean Britton, doesn't get more British than that.
Yeah. Oh, his name is Dean Britton. Britton is his last name, so,
Yeah, so
that is fantastic. We got to show a B-roll shot of that here in a second.
Yeah.
But dude, this is a clean engine bay. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You said it has how many miles?
12,500.
Oh yeah, this thing is.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's from 2007, but like it's been parked in a garage. It looks like.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it's very clean.
You got a clean model, and even like this is made of metal. You know, like you said, attention to detail. You know.
Yeah.
The cap for the oil right here is made out of metal. You know. That and all those things added together, I think, makes something that is a car that is more than the sum of its parts.
Right.
In my opinion.
Right. Even the gas cap, like if you look at the door of the gas cap design and the gas cap itself, we'll look at it. It's like
yeah.
it's
I want
just
to look
on
at
another level, you know. And one other unique thing before we shut it is just where the engine sits. It's pretty far back.
Oh yeah, it's behind where the wheels actually line up. It's more in the middle of the.
So the balance of the car is very good.
That's nice. Would you ever track this car?
No. It's too nice.
Maybe we'll convince him.
It's too nice. Maybe very lightly, but.
And then one thing I also noticed is like, and I just noticed these little things. It's the little things that add up to me that make something really special. And like, for example, my car has a little bar right here that you got to set up for the hood, but it doesn't take any more effort for a company to just put these struts, and it just makes the experience so much nicer when you open the hood. You know, it's the little things like that. The metal Aston Martin logo on top of the engine, the metal cover for the oil, the plaque that says hand built in England. All those things I think add up to make really special cars. So let's check out the rest of the car. Should we close this?
Sure.
Nice. Check out the back. All right, and getting to the back of the car, you got to run me through this plate right here because this is awesome. I'm surprised it was available.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised too. You can search online like what's available, and you can search up to 5 or 6 or whatever, and that was my top one, and it was available.
Oh my gosh!
So I was like,
V8
all right,
Vantage.
I went for it, and then I just had to have a black plate because I just black is my color, as you can tell.
Yeah, black on black. That's gonna look a lot better. And then another really cool thing that I noticed is you actually have 2 sets of brakes in the rear right here. So I believe one's for parking, and the other one I guess is just your.
Yeah, one's the e-brake, but it's like a disc style e-brake. Yeah.
So I think that's one thing that's also really cool about this car is the double brakes that it has in the back. It has one dedicated just for the brake, for the e-brake, and the other one is dedicated for the actual driving and the regular driving system whenever you hit the normal brake. So not all cars have that. Mine does not have that. So I think that's one of the things that's really cool. And in fact, let's get into how the e-brake works on this car because it's not like every other car.
Oh yeah.
It's something really fancy.
It's a unique thing.
Cool. All right, so run us down on how this e-brake works because it's not like a typical car. If you were to pull it up, you wouldn't be able to get in the car because it would actually block you from sitting in the seat.
Right.
So how do you do that?
So they put it on the left side, which is unusual, first of all, but they didn't want to mess up the center console with the e-brake.
Okay.
So they put this on the left, but when you pull it up, then you have the problem of how do you get in and out of the car.
Yeah, because it would bump into your leg as you try to go in and out.
So what it does is just after you pull it up, it just drops back down.
Okay.
Which, that's all easy and simple, and it's fine once you get used to it. But when you want to take it off, you have to pull it up, push the button in, and then release it down.
So how does it work whenever you push, like, will you pull it back up to push the button in? Does it like, do you feel it latch or something when it comes all the way up?
When you're putting it on, you pull it up just like any other e-brake, and then it'll just fall down.
Yeah.
And then when you take it off, you like pull it up, press the button, and push it back down.
Oh, okay.
And you kind of feel it release, and also there's the light on the dash that lets you know it's off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So it's like a weird thing some people complain about. It doesn't bother me. I think it's like
It works
unique
just fine.
and
Yeah. Oh, okay,
different.
cool. And I noticed you also got it in a manual. Thank God, because this
yeah,
is like
of course.
the best way to get a car, in my opinion. I love manual cars. You guys have seen my Mustang. You know it's manual, and I take it to the track. And so, how do you like it being manual? Tell me about your experience with it.
Well, manual is very high on my checklist. You know, I had looked at some automatic versions of this car, but it's not a standard like torque converter automatic in those. It's a automated manual.
Yeah.
So it still has the clutch as if it's a manual transmission. And a lot of people just like don't like them, and of course the manuals like go for more money and they're harder to find. At least on the secondary market, they're harder to find. But that was very high on my list to get one with a manual, and also a coupe, because they have a roadster version of the car.
Oh, okay. Roadster is right when the top comes off, but it's not a convertible, right?
It's a convertible.
Oh, it is a convertible.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Roadster's a convertible. Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, naturally aspirated V8 attached to a 6-speed manual, that's exactly what I want. You know?
Heck yeah. That's actually why I got a Mustang. V8, manual. Can't have anything better than that. So with that being said, let's check out the interior, go for a drive, and see how the car actually does on the road, and take it from there. Oh wow, this is really cool. So this is, you pull this to open it. Yep. Oh dang, that's nice. It feels like a vertical door, which is a very cool feeling. Dang, so I noticed as soon as I came in, there's no nav system, which is typically in these cars, and it's a bit of an eyesore.
Yeah, one of my favorite options, or lack of options in this spec, was no nav, and it's pretty rare actually. Most of them have the nav. But I think, you know, that nav popping up is just like a 2007.
Yeah.
It was probably even old at the time, so it's just like a huge eyesore that pops up.
Yeah.
So not having it at all, I love that. If it had it, I would just leave it down.
So. No, yeah, that looks a lot better. And then right below that, this is pretty cool too. So this is the engine start stop right in the middle.
Yep.
That's pretty unique. Oh, that sounds good. And I noticed also, I just keep noticing details as we're sitting in here. These are wrapped in like the same color leather as the seats themselves.
Yeah, it's all these little details. And I think, like, you know, things like this metal trim around the stick shift, like, it doesn't read so well in photos. Like, you look at them in photos and you're like, okay, like the interior looks pretty good, but when you actually get in the car, you're like, wow, everything's like, the quality of everything is very nice.
Yeah, it feels even way better in person too than like photos can even do it justice, or videos or anything like that. Like, this leather is like super plush, everything feels really good. And oh wait, hold on. So even the passenger has memory seats. At least that's what it looks like.
True. The one downside on the passenger is it doesn't have the up and down, whereas my side does. So like almost everybody that sits in that seat is like, wow, it's so low, I can't see anything out of here.
Oh,
you know?
interesting. But that is super cool. Most cars don't have memory for the passengers. They'll have it for the driver, but not for the passengers. And then what are these down here?
That's like turn on heated seat and then lumbar support.
Oh, okay. Wow. A lot of options in this car, and also really interesting way to lay everything out. Because like you said, there was no e-brake here. It's over on that side. Wow, that's all really interesting.
And one of like my favorite things about the car is the gauge cluster. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, it is really like tactical, metal looking.
And it has a reverse sweep tack, which is unique.
Wait, what do you mean by that?
The tack
it
is
goes
sweeping
to
the
the
other
left.
way.
Yeah, instead of to the right. Wow. Yeah, I didn't even notice. That's the first one I saw it. Yeah, it sounds really good. Sounds really good. And then Alcantara all through the interior, the stitching. Dude, this thing is nice. I can't believe this does not feel like a car from 2007.
A lot of people say that. They're very surprised when I say it's a 2007. Mm-hmm. You know, partially because it's just been kept really nice. Mm-hmm. But the design itself just aged really well. And for me, I think it will continue to age well.
Yeah. All right, let's do it. Let's go for a quick drive. We can go around that street right there. That's like nice and empty. Ever notice the Aston Martin logo or clock right there? All right, let's see. Oh boy. Scare away the birds. Dude, I bet you have so much fun driving this car.
It's like such a nice car to drive. Mm-hmm. It just, it's very solid. It just feels so good. Like, you know, it inspires a lot of confidence because you just like you feel everything. Mm-hmm. You know, the manual, you're attached to it.
It feels especially great, like as a passenger. Just like the sounds and everything, and the way even the seat feels really sporty and really fun.
The seats are very comfortable in my opinion. I like. It took me a minute to get like how the seat, like the right position for the seat, but once I got it, I'm just like, oh my god, it's like perfect.
Nice. I even like felt these, like even these, all the like. I think that is you can go that way and then spin around. And I think that is the main thesis in my main review after just now getting to know this car, is actually it's greater than the sum of all its parts, because at the end of the day, this is a great V8 car that actually comes with a manual and is quality built. They take so much pride in it. In fact, they even put a plaque of the person who built the car right at the front on the engine, which just shows how passionate they are about the car and every last detail. The knobs being made out of metal, even the caps for the oil, all those things add up to being such a quality car that you can actually get into for a decent price nowadays. And even when it came out, these are an absolute bargain of a car. And I think that is the main thesis, is how much you actually get for what you pay with these cars. What's this? Oh. That is only for this outlet, this power outlet right here. That's interesting. They went through the effort of this whole flap, and that's all it covers.
Yeah, I don't know if there's like another option that could be in there or something. I'm not sure.
If this was a Doug DeMuro video, that would definitely be a quirk and feature. That there's a cover for just this power outlet and nothing else. Maybe some coins, but that's about it. That's all you can fit in there.
A definite quirk of this car is the sun visors are just
oh my
ridiculous.
gosh, wait a minute. What in the world? Okay, I'm sorry, that has to be the most useless sun visor. And it's not even one of the ones that like unfold. Like typically the ones that have little sun visors, they'll unfold a couple times. This
it is by far the smallest I've ever seen. It's amazing.
That has to take the cake. It's probably 2 inches thick. Wow. That is hilarious. So what's the deal with the trunk button?
Oh, you got to see this little button on the trunk. It's like this little stainless steel button. It's just like, you know, another just small like attention to detail, like beautifully designed.
Yeah, and I think that really wraps up the entire thesis that we have and my entire summary of this car in our short time getting to know it. And so, thank you guys for watching. It was a quick one. It was a fun one. And dude, Mark, thanks for coming through.
Thanks for having me.
And showing us your amazing car. So, see ya.
My pleasure.